Hello and welcome to part 3 of the series on how to write compelling, engaging emails that increase engagement and conversions. This episode is about subject lines and why your subject lines are so important and why having the right curiosity-driven subject line in order to compel someone to open it is the 80-20 of the actual email you write. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the founder of Freedom in Marketing, and I've been involved in email marketing and direct response copywriting for close to a decade now. We work with service-based businesses with a high ticket offer or a membership kind of model in their business. And what we do is we help you get more conversions, more book calls, more sales of your offers from email marketing. So that's the background about me. So let's dive into today's topic, why you need to craft a compelling subject line. So first of all, there was a study published by Invesp, which is some kind of CRM database, I think. I can't remember exactly what it does, but they basically said, they did a study and they said that 47% of people will open an email based on the subject line alone, which, let's extrapolate that. And so it means that 1 in 2 people will open your email based on the subject line that you have. Therefore, it makes sense for you to put a little bit more time, energy and effort into having the right subject line in order to get someone to open it. And how long does it take to write a subject line? Not really much time at all. And how do you know which subject line is best? Well, you don't. It's kind of guesswork until you have data and you can test it out. But equally, if you have 10,000 people on your email list, you could potentially send subject line 1 to 2,000 people, subject line 2 to another subset of people, and just test it that way. But the bottom line is you need to be testing subject lines because 1 in 2 people will open your email based on the subject line alone. And if you spend or invest your time, resources into create the email and only half the people are actually reading it, then you're kind of leaving a lot of money and a lot of potential on the table. So that's why subject lines are so important. So let's jump into a few things which you can include in your subject line in order to make sure that they are catchy, compelling, curiosity driven, and they can get people intrigued enough to actually click open and read your email. So the first thing to consider is to use emojis. So if you sign up to a lot of people's email lists, you will probably notice that a lot of subject lines do use emojis. Should you use them or shouldn't you use them? Well, that's down to debate. You cannot argue with the fact that emojis do add a visual element to your subject line, and when people see it, it helps them stand out. It's eye-catching, it gets attention. You can use emojis to convey emotion, but of course the negative of this is that using them too often, especially in every single email that you send, or if you send a daily email, which is something that we do at Freedom in Marketing and what we advocate for, then it quickly becomes, you use them too much, it quickly becomes boring, and also a lot of people do use them, so you don't really stand out so much if everyone's using it. And depending on the type of audience that you are targeting, emojis can be a little bit unprofessional. So what I would suggest is limit to 1 emoji per subject line and test the performance of your subject lines with emojis and without. You can have the same subject line, 1 with an emoji, 1 without. Send half the emails to one half of your list, half the emails to another, and see which one gets the best response. Also, if you're doing B2B stuff and you want to come across as being professional, then you probably don't want to overload with too many emojis. And like I mentioned before, if you're sending daily emails, then you don't want an emoji in every single email that you send. The answer to that is there are pros and cons. Use them sparingly, test to see how they perform against non-emoji based subject lines, and do more of what works and do less of what doesn't. From my own, if it's me personally, I don't necessarily respond best to emojis, whereas someone else would respond. So everyone's list is different, everyone's subscriber base is different. Test, see what the response is, and then kind of take it from there. If it works, do more. If it doesn't, do less. So the next thing is that to make your subject lines compelling and to increase the open rates, and to get that one, to increase the open rates by more percent, more people are reading your email, what you want to try and do is you want to try to have a personalized subject line. Now, if this is in some kind of automated follow-up, the more personalized, the better. You can use their first name in the subject line. You can do this through the autoresponder. I don't know how off the top of my head, but it's pretty straightforward to do. The only thing is you just want to make sure that people give their real first name in order to do it. I've heard some crazy stories about people putting the wrong first name in, and that's a story for another day. And according to I think it was Experian is where I saw this statistic, don't quote me on it. It said that about 26% of people are more likely to open an email if it's got their first name in it, or if it's highly personalized compared to a more generic one. And now, of course, one of the reasons for that is that if you are in a crowded room and someone shouts your name, you're going to look around and see and wonder who's doing it. And as the saying goes, everyone's most favorite word in the world is their own name, so the more you can use it, the better. It's also kind of taught in sales training to use the person's first name a lot as well, to build that connection, to create this connection and the feeling of familiarity with someone. So you can use the first name in the subject line. Other ways you can personalize would be based on their sort of behavior. If someone had clicked on a certain link in order to segment the list, you can personalize based on the list segments that they are in, or you can personalize based on their purchasing history. Someone bought product A from you, you can just put the name of the product in subject line and then something afterwards, and that will likely get people to open it and to increase your open rates as well. As I mentioned, just that when you use personalized subject lines, this increases familiarity, it builds this connection, and people will want to open it more. This becomes especially powerful if you can combine it with something that's super curious, something that drives curiosity, urgency in there as well. This is how to do that. So the next thing when it comes to subject lines is, this is more on what not to do. When you do these things, this will reduce your open rate. So avoid it to increase your open rate. Avoid clickbaity stuff, nobody likes it. Yes, clickbait kind of stuff, it will get attention and it will get people to click, but then when somebody clicks on your email because of the subject line and you don't pay off in the email body itself, it causes negative feelings, and people, it could be damaging to your reputation. Just don't do it. Honestly, when it comes to writing subject lines, you can have curiosity-based subject lines that are not clickbaity but get people to click anyway. So, just as easy to do it in a legitimate way where you pay off inside the email than it is to create clickbait. So just do it the right way. And also try to keep your subject lines short most of the time. One of the reasons for this is that there's a character limit in the subject line, and if it's too long, the end of it gets cut off. And if people are viewing it on their mobile device, this can also truncate what you've written. And this is when it comes to writing the subject line. You can Google search. Some sources say 4 to 6 words best. Other subject lines work best when it's just 1 word or 2 word. I've had a lot of success in the past using just 1 word or 2 word subject lines, which gets people to open. But also you can have long ones in there as well, just to spice things up. This isn't just a rule of thumb to have every email needs a short subject line. If you're sending daily emails, then you probably want to have short ones, 1 word ones, 2 word ones, longer ones as well, just to mix things up and just to add the vary, and then you add the emojis in as well and the different things. So it all kind of depends on the context of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to write an automated nurture sequence with a specific goal in mind to generate sales or book calls or whatever it is, I'd probably try to go towards the shorter ones because they capture attention more than the longer ones. So the next thing is, in order to increase your open rate, you want to have your subject lines that create as much curiosity as possible. One of the biggest things that you can do to have compelling copy is to have a high element of curiosity in there, and the more curiosity that you can generate, the more likely someone is going to click. But there's a fine line between a subject line that gets someone really interested in opening it and clickbait. When you do use these subject lines that generate a lot of curiosity and people want to open it because of what you put, make sure you pay it off, and you pay it off as fast as possible, ideally your first line or so, and then you can go on to whatever it is. So a couple of high subject lines which piqued my curiosity would be, I've just written them down here, is number one would be, you won't believe what happened next. We've all seen things like this. You all see things on YouTube, you know, you don't believe what happened next and you kind of want to click. What no one tells you about a certain topic. Another one, can you solve this riddle? All of these are pretty compelling and they would make me open. These are all examples of what you can use. If you want to have high curiosity driven subject lines, go to Google or ChatGPT and just ask it to come up with a list of them. Before AI, I painstakingly went and created a PDF document with a whole bunch of subject lines, which I personally found very intriguing and got me to click. And that took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to do. And now I can just go to ChatGPT and it will come up with a list within a matter of within seconds. It is what it is. So that's what you can do with your high curiosity subject lines. And a bonus kind of tip on the subject of having something that generates a lot of curiosity is, don't just look at other people's emails for inspiration. Go to YouTube, find the YouTube channels that have the most views in any industry or any niche and see what they do. Because the title of a YouTube video serves the same purpose as the subject line in an email. And if you go and look at some of the most viewed videos in certain industries, certain niches and whatnot, or even in general, you can get some ideas on what to do in order to have your high curiosity. Another thing as well is, if you're running ads, what you have as the headline for your winning ads, you can use variations of that if it's short enough for your subject line as well. And that's what I would do. Now, how would you implement all of this stuff? Well, we at Freedom Marketing advocate daily email. So what we were to do a daily email is, we would have subject lines which are designed to increase curiosity to get people to click. Some would have emojis, some would be highly personalized, some would be sort of benefit driven, value add, some of them would be questions, some of them would be one word, you know, mixed up, varied, lots of different things, so nothing feels predictable. And then inside the email content itself, we would try to deliver value which would align with what the specific goal of each individual email is, as part of a wider sort of monthly, quarterly, yearly sort of. Finally, as it comes to everything that you do, and especially when it comes to email marketing, you need to test, because let's be honest, when you try something for the first time, it's just a guess, we don't know. I think it was Ben Settle, who is a pretty famous or infamous email marketer, once said that you need to have at least 200 individual emails for a test. I also heard someone, when I'm studying cold email outreach, that said you need at least 500 emails to determine whether a test is complete. So if you have 1,000 people on your email list, you can send subject line A to half of them, subject line B to another half, see which ones wins, and then the winner you keep and you can reuse and you can try to beat it next time. And then if it's daily emails that you send, you just basically try a shotgun approach and you try as many different ideas as you can, and then you collect data over weeks and months, and after 90 days you've got 90 different subject lines. Identify the top 20% which perform the best, and then you can create content based around those in the future. And so that's all. So just a quick summary. So you want the subject line is the 80-20 of everything, because if people don't open the email, they don't get to see anything. Use emojis, but use them sparingly. Personalize the subject line whenever you can. Avoid clickbait, but make your subject lines curiosity generating to get people intrigued and interested. Keep your subject line short for most of the time, but have longer ones too when you want. Mix it all up, test, and just do it. See what happens. That's all I've got for you. If you'd like to know more about how we can implement a daily email strategy in your business to help you get increased engagement, get more conversions, get more calls, make more sales, then you'll find a way that you can reach out to us in the description below. That's all I've got for you. Make it a great day. See you next time.